Welcome to Soil and Soul, a new Christian podcast to those who want to invest in yields that count most. 5 days a week during planting and harvest seasons, Soil and Soul looks to help you sow seeds and reap a golden harvest.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Soil and Soul podcast. It's Kayla Venner back with you again for our spring planting season. Everybody's spring is going well. Down here in West Central Iowa, we have not quite gotten in the fields. It's a little wet, but it actually gives us a little more time to just make sure everything's ready to go. The planters and sprayer, all that. We've done some spring tillage, sprayed cover crops so that the fields are just ready to go. And so now it's more just equipment types of things that I work on. And then of course, like technology and making sure that, boundaries are ready to go, all that good stuff that I'm also learning, this season to do, now that staying home and being a little more active in the farm side of it and the business side. I'm still not running a tractor by any stretch of the imagination, but maybe this spring, I don't know. I'm also very okay with being a supportive wife, farm wife. But today for the podcast, we're going to focus on a couple of saints that kind of came to mind. Some people are very familiar with Saint Isidore because he is the patron saint of farmers. And in our field, that usually does come to mind quite a bit. Not everybody is actually, because he's also maybe not entirely one of those like popular saints, I want to say, when you think of like the great saints. But for agriculture, he is our popular saint. His wife is also a saint that I also just very recently learned when I was just doing more research about Saint Isidore and his background and things, and then learned that his wife Maria became a saint as well. Both Maria and Isidore, what I love about their story is that they are very simple couple. They lived a very simple lifestyle. They were not wealthy by any means. In fact, Isidore actually worked for a wealthy farm owner, and then married Maria, who was actually very poor, comes from a very poor family. They did have one son who died in infancy. So then after that, Maria and Isidore just decided to devote their entire life to God and serve God in whatever capacity that looked like. They had this very desire to still garden and farm within that. And then what does this look like that we can like serve back to the poor, things like that. So they often served meals to anybody really who would just like stop by. Maria there's a story that was said that she would often have some sort of like a pot of stew or soup or something ready to go because Isidore would just keep bringing people home. So she's just always ready to just have a large pot of soup. Well, there was one time that he brought so many hungry people home with him, and she was very worried that there wasn't enough. And he said just to keep checking the pot. And she was actually able to feed enough for everybody. So it became one of those, reminds me of the wedding at Cana, that like, oh, we've run out. And the Lord is like, no, you have not. They served God in everything that they did. They never were out there to make it big or make it famous, like as far as like the secular world was concerned. But all that it mattered is that they were serving God, and through that they were serving the poor. So I think that sometimes we can get caught up in that in agriculture, that, I do really feel that by and large, farmers are very humble people. Their wives are too. Sometimes though, we want to just keep making it big. We see the debt that's there at the bank, and we want to make as much money as possible to pay it off. And while yes, we are called to do that, we can't just not see those things. But at the end of it all, are we still serving God every time that we go out to the field, or every time that we go feed cattle or check our barns or whatever it is that we do in the farming world? Are we doing this for ourselves? Are we doing this for just the secular world to see how much money we can make and how much stuff we can buy and all of that? Or are we actually just doing this for the glory of God? And It's really hard sometimes to think because the secular world and the spiritual world don't always mesh very well. But having saints like Saint Isidore and his wife, Saint Maria, this model kind of farming couple who were very simple, very humble, to be that model for us. And then also just asking them to pray for us, to keep us humble, to help us serve the Lord. And then also those maybe who are marginalized. I hope that you can dive into more of their story, Saint Isidore and Saint Maria, that their commitment to family, the love for the land, service to the poor, and obviously their deep spirituality can be things that we can still find within our own families and within our own communities. So Saint Isidore and Saint Maria, pray for us.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Soil and Soul, and we hope that it blesses you. Please stay tuned during the week for the other daily shows that we offer as part of this special ministry project we're providing during the peak seasons of planting and harvest. Also, if you'd like to find out more about Catholic Passage, how you might collaborate with us, or even support our mission, please visit us at CatholicPassage.com. Most importantly, you can support us with your prayers. We'll be praying for you. Please pray for us.